One day in 1961, Jim Landry caused quite a stir at Lee Raceway. He showed up with a radical rear-engine super, blasted from the back of the pack to the front, and promptly sheared off a light pole with a stuck throttle. Landry, who was an excellent modified and super modified driver, never raced that car again. Last week he commented, "That thing scared the wee-wee out of me." The amazing thing about this crude but quick creation was it had been built years and years before by a racing lifer by the name of Charlie Elliott. His driver, Bob Moore, had won every race the car entered and finished at Beech Ridge Speedway before it was outlawed. Building neat stuff by hand was certainly nothing new to Charlie Elliott. In the 30s, he built and raced tractor-type mud buggies at places like Farmington and Keene, New Hampshire, and under the lights at the Topsfield Fairgrounds in Massachusetts. After the enforced quiet of the war years, he built and drove VH-60 midgets before the enormous boom of the jalopies. Turning to more fabricating himself, he and driver Bob Guy won a ton in the stock cars, though a favorite memory was not actually a win. It was not a 24-lap race at Norwood Arena, it was a 24-hour race in which they started 51st and, despite massive mechanical problems, soldiered forth to an 8th place finishing position the next day. Charlie became active then in building track equipment, starting with a generating system for the Sanford Main Speedway. He then went a little bit south and built handmade grandstands and lights for the Dover, New Hampshire 5th Mile paved oval. He ended up promoting that track and built a strong non-Ford field up there with a lot of sparky competitors known to near members, people like Fats Caruso, Trigger Watson, Red Barbeau, and Freddie Schultz. He also took a fling at promoting the infamous Riverside Speedway in Montreal, pitting some of the grisly dirt cars of guys like Kenny Shoemaker from New York against the super light cut-downs of people like Freddie Borden from New England, against anything that Canada had to offer. In the early 60s, Charlie's huge and tireless hands built Star Speedway, an adventure made all the more dramatic by the arrival of his long-term partners, Ken Smith and Russ Conway. They formed the New England Super Modified Association and promoted many, many shows all over the Northeast and even toured in Florida and in Canada. Charlie and team subsequently rebuilt both Hudson and Lee Speedways, giving both facilities new leases on life, and they were known for spectacular promotions and really colorful entertainment. As Hudson and Lee and Star had been sold by the 90s, Charlie and wife June retired to the North Country, but those hands just kept on moving. He soon built 2 tracks, one dirt and one asphalt, on the same facility in Canaan, New Hampshire. And who is this dude, Humpy Wheeler, who thinks he's so special for having a dirt track next to Charlotte these days? In the thousands and thousands of races this modest, soft-spoken man has promoted, there's been an underlying theme of open competition, no-holds-barred racing. On a personal note, I expect I've raced at as many of his tracks as anyone else, other, of course, than those super guys who went on the Nesmer tours. However, not once was our car teched. I'm not sure there was ever a technical inspector. Believe me, it was not NASCAR. But it was always a show, delivered with flair. Going to a Nesmer race, you never quite know who was going to pull up to the pits next to you. It could be Ollie Silva, or it could be Buddy Baker, Rich Folger, Dale Earnhardt, Bob McCready, or Senator Gordon Humphrey. Charlie did it his way. Basic, fun, wide-open way. More wit than wallet, the way it used to be. And so now it's time for all of us to use our hands, this time in applause for this great but quiet builder of speedways who played such an important role in the history of New England racing. May I present, for induction to the Near Hall of Fame, Mr. Charlie Elliott.
than you are. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, but I'm here. I feel like a rooster. I do all the crowing, but your chickens are home laying the eggs. All these messes that I've got into, I didn't do by myself. I have two friends that stuck with me for 40 years and listened to me bitch and rave. I'd like to have them come up here with me right now. Kenny Smith and Mr. Conway. Could I do that? Hi, Kendall.
Hello. You should do this, John.
Why not? You did it
This
to
is
me.
you.
You did it to me.
All right.
I can, as you can see, I'm not a speaker, but I have a couple right here. Go ahead, say something, will you?
All right. I have a story about Nesbrook. They used to call us the 3 M's. This was the muscle, I was the money, and this is the mouth.
You say something.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. Actually, you were the money, all right, but I'm still waiting for some money,
Takes time, takes time.
But here's the muscle man, and I'll tell you, there's nobody anywhere in New England that ever put more into racing as far as building racetracks. In 1986, Lee Speedway could have been sold for land or industrial purposes. There was one thing that Charlie wanted, to keep it as a racetrack. That's how dedicated he is. Charlie, congratulations.
Okay, well, that's all right. I'm going to leave with you. I just want to say that without my wife and family, nobody would be here, all right? Thank you very much.